Hello, my amazing Algebra 1 students. Let's have another summer adventure together. Today, we will continue to solve multi-step equations. And we're going to solve each equation and check your answer. The first example that we're going to do, we will have 8 equals 1/2 n plus 3. 1/2 n is the same thing as n divided by 2. Dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal, a half. I subtract 3 from each side. We're getting 5 is equal to n over 2 plus 0. Then I have 5 equals n over 2. The way we undo dividing by 2 is to multiply by 2. And we have here 2 times 5 equals 2 times n divided by 2. And I made this 2 over 1 so that let me move this down so you can see it. Made this 2 over 1 so when you multiply the two numerators and two denominators, we get 2n divided by 2. Well, 2's what? Cancel out. That cancels out. So we have n equals 10. And once we do that, remember, we're going to go back and check our answer. So we write the original problem. We substitute for the n 10. I have 10 is 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. 8 equals 8, and it does check. Okay, let's look at our second example. We have 3n divided by 5 plus 17 divided by 10 equals 3 divided by 10 minus n divided by 3. We want to get rid of our denominators by multiplying by the least common denominator, so we don't have any fractions. A strategy is to take the largest denominator and look at multiples of that denominator until we find a multiple in which all of the denominators will divide evenly into. So our largest denominator is 10, and 20 and 10 will not work because 3 will not divide evenly into 10 or 20. The 30 will work. So our least common denominator is 30. I'm going to multiply each term by 30. Since we're multiplying by fractions, I made that 30 over 1. And let me move this so you can see it. So we have 30 times 3n. We're going to have 90n divided by 5. 30 times 17, 510 divided by 10. 30 times 3, 90 divided by 10. This is a negative 1n times 30 is a negative 30n divided by 3. And then 5 will go into 90, 18, so it'll be 18n. 10 will go into 510, 51 times. 10 will go into 99. 3 will go into negative 30n, will be a negative 10n. Then I'm going to put my variables on the left side, so I'm going to add 10 to both sides. We're going to get 28n, it's 18n plus 10n, plus 51 equals 9 plus 0. And 9 plus 0 is 9. Then I'm going to subtract 51 from each side. Then I'm going to get 28n plus 0 equals a negative 42. And then I'm going to divide each side by 28. And I'm going to reduce this, you see, the negative 42 over 28. 14 times the negative 3 is a negative 42. 14 times 2 is 28. So you see 28 is going to 28 once. It's 1n. 14's cancel out. So we're left with n equals 3 over 2. That's a negative 3 over 2. And then we want to check it. Remember to write down the original problem when we check. 3n over 5 is the same thing as 3/5 times n plus 17 over 10 equals 3 over 10 minus 1/3 n. Then we're going to substitute for n, negative 3/2. And we're going to multiply the two numerators and two denominators. And we're going to get negative 9 over 10, bring down the 17 over 10, bring down the 3 over 10, multiply the two numerators and two denominators, we get positive, negative times negative is a positive 3 over 6. 3 over 6 reduces to 1/2. And remember, we're trying to show that the right side is equal to the left side. So I'm going to take that 1/2 multiplied by 5 over 5, so I can get a denominator of 10. Because we can only add and subtract fractions, we have blank denominators. So I bring down my 8 over 10, then 3 over 10 plus 5 over 10 gives me 8 over 10. And you see that both sides are equal. But if you go further, you can go on and reduce this. And each one of these will reduce to what? 4 over 5 equals 4 over 5, so it does check. We're going to look at a third example where we're going to use cross multiplication. Remember, we use cross multiplication when we're solving a proportion. If A over B equals C over D. So you cross multiply, then AD is equal to BC. So we're going to use that to solve this equation. And the equation is y minus 5 over 3 is equal to y plus 5 over 8. I'm going to cross multiply. See this? I'm cross multiplying 8 times the quantity y minus 5. Cross multiplying 3 times the quantity y plus 5. Then I'm going to use my distributive property. 8 times y, 8y. 8 times a negative 5, negative 40. 3 times y, 3y. 3 times 5, 15. I'm going to put my variables on the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides. 8y minus 3y, 5y. Bring down the negative 40. 3y minus 3y, 0. Bring down the plus 15. So here I've got 5y minus 40 equals 15. And then I'm going to add 40 to both sides. When I add 40 to both sides, 5y minus 40 plus 40 equals 15 plus 40. I have 5y plus 0 equals 55. Divide each side by 5, and we get y equals 11. Now again, we want to check this to make sure this is the correct answer. And remember, when we check this, we want to write the original equation, which is y minus 5 over 3 equals y plus 5 over 8. Substitute for the y 11. 11 minus 5, 6. 6 over 3. 11 plus 5, 16 over 8. 3 will go into 6 twice. 8 will go into 16 twice, and it checks. So we have done that. Now remember, this is a video. You want to take your time and review the video. Remember to stop, rewind, review. Stop, rewind, review, and you will be able to do this. Bye.